Check it out, everybody. The second annual History of the Bay Day is going down October 19th at the Midway in San Francisco, and early bird tickets are on sale right now. If you were at last year's event, you know how special it was. You know the vibes. This year is going to be even bigger. We're going to have legendary performances, a live podcast, women in hip hop panel, History of Bay Area dance cypher, graffiti gallery curated by Dying Breed, a museum exhibit, exclusive vendors, food, and much more. We're going to have an epic lineup this year. We're going to be announcing the first artist soon, but right now you can get tickets at a discounted rate on the early bird special, so make sure you hit up the link at the description of this episode, and I'll see y'all October 19th at the Midway SF for History of the Bay Day Part 2.
What's going on, y'all? Brick and Mortar, Frisco, we in the house. All right, shout out Brand One, shout out Sky Pack. This is History of the Bay. Can we make some noise for that? I am D.O. I'm the executive producer for History of the Bay. Welcome. This is our second live podcast in Frisco. We at Brick and Mortar. Thank you for having us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to waste none of y'all time. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Dregs One.
Thanks, my brother. Thank you. Yo, San Francisco Brick and Mortar Music Hall, how we doing, man? It's an honor to be here. Before we get started, give it up to the lovely Abby Imperial. Killing that DJ set. She plays all the stuff that I love to hear, and that's why I got her in the building. Also, while you're here, make sure you check out the photo exhibit by Frisco Film. Let's make some noise for Frisco Film doing her thing over there. And of course, we got to shout out our sponsors, Mojo Labs and Sky Pack. Make some noise for Mojo Labs and Sky Pack. Matter of fact, Mojo Labs, they printed this History of the Bay snapback that I'm wearing right now. And I got the last 4 right here. So if you want one, I mean, you should probably make some noise or something, you know? If you really want one. You know what I'm talking about? If you really want it. If you really want it, I got it. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on, I got 2 more. So you really got to get loud. You got to act like you want it. Ah! And the last one. The last one right here, man. Come on. Boom. All right. Let's get this show on the road, man. So this is the History of the Bay podcast, and we got some legends in the building. I'm going to bring them up one by one. First of all, this man is a San Francisco icon, producer, rap cat, record label executive, 30 plus years in the game, straight out of Hunters Point, Harbor Road to be exact, founding member of the group RBL Posse. I'm talking about the one and only Black C. What's up, brother? Have a seat right here, man. Thanks for coming through, bro. Yes, sir. You was actually the first guest. The first guest. Yep, so it's only fitting that we got you here on this little mix and match, man. We got multiple legends in the building tonight. Next up, I'm about to introduce Big Unk. Man, if you don't know his face, you know his voice for sure. And this man always got a positive message. He's known for his compilation series, Trying to Survive in the Ghetto, among many other projects. Hunters Point icon, I'm talking about the one and only Herm Lewis. Herm Lou, what it do? He said he's gonna be right back. He's here. Okay, come on up here, Herm. Come on up here, man.
Yeah.
Keep it going for Herm Lou, man. Always a positive force. Have a seat, bro. And of course, coming up soon, he's running a little bit late, but the show had to go on. We got TC in the building as well, legendary super producer. He's gonna be coming in, jumping in as soon as he gets here, man. But We got to get this thing started. So this is the first live podcast. Big shout out to Brick and Mortar. First live podcast outside of Amoeba. We did one there. Brick and Mortar, my man Jonas, making sure we right. My man Gerald behind the door there. But we're going to get this conversation cracking. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to talk Frisco hip-hop with some Frisco legends? Come on, man. All right, first of all, Black C, bro, I got to ask you something, man. I put a list up of the top 5 San Francisco albums.
Right.
And he had a minor disagreement.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So my top 5, just to recap, I believe number 5 was Explosive Mode, Messy Marvin, San Quentin. Number 4, Dre Dog, New Jim Jones. Number 3, what was number 3? IMP, Ill Mannered Players. Number 2, Selsky, Mr. Predictor. And number 1 was RBL Posse, Ruthless by Law.
Right.
But what was your disagreement with that, man?
The first album, A Lesson to Be Learned, should have been at least tied for 1. That was the one that put us on the map.
So you think Lesson to Be Learned is a better album than Ruthless by Law?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Any particular reason?
Just the production, we just way more creative on that album to me, and it put us on the map. Ain't not one song we did on that second album bigger than Bammerweed. Period.
Wow. Okay. Well, Herm, you want to weigh in here? What would you prefer? You're on both of those albums.
Yeah. I think the first album
and it sold more.
Should have been the number 1 album. Actually. Right. RBL could have possibly had 2 albums on that list.
Right.
He could have.
I didn't want to hurt any
feelings.
But I think the Bammerweed album, because just like Chris said, it put RBL on the map, and that's the hottest album ever coming up out of Frisco.
Especially Frisco.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm younger than y'all, man, so maybe
of course,
the second album.
But now, depending on where you was born, some people, like, I guess, me and Joe Fresco was talking about that. Like, he pretty much more cling to more like Solo Creep and the Ruthless by Law album. Like, that was his. That's what he grew up on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But more of the OGs, my generation, you know what I mean? Them 70s babies, early 80s, it's more a lesson to be learned.
That makes sense, yeah. We was in
so
that,
I understand.
We was in that Camry tacked out like smoke a blunt.
Right, exactly. Right.
This episode of the History of the Bay podcast is brought to you by Skypack Farms. Skypack is a distinguished indoor cultivation brand with decades of industry experience. They've been a producer of high-grade flower for renowned brands like Cookies and Sherbinski and are now building their own brand by providing top-tier products directly to dispensaries. Skypack is a brand for the culture, by the culture. For more information about Skypack Farms and their premium quality products, visit skypackfarms.com. You can also get the link in the description of this episode. But man, it's crazy now that 30 years plus, we're talking about both of these albums. Herm Trying to Survive in the Ghetto came out in 93. How does it feel 30 years later to still be relevant, still have an impact in the game like this?
I mean, for me, it's extraordinary because I'm a non-rapper that associate with the best rappers.
Right.
And that's a privilege to still be relevant in the music industry because it still have the longevity that I have had because of that first album. And I have maximized and capitalized on every opportunity that's been presented to me. Just like this event here today on History of the Bay. I'm here because it's all about capitalizing on the opportunities when they present it to you. And when I got that initial opportunity from Black Chris and Mr. C, rest in peace, Mr. C, I capitalized on it. I never crossed game in my relationships. That's the next thing, being sincere with your relationships. When you're fortunate to establish a relationship with individuals like a Black Chris, like a Dregs One, right, like a Larry June, you want to value them relationships. So that's, I appreciate still being relevant in the game.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Chris? What do you What do you think about that? 30 years. I mean, how does that feel to look back? That's older than some of the people in this room.
Right.
Yeah. How does it feel to have an album that you put out so long ago that's still getting played today?
Man, blessed. I mean, it's a blessing to come out when I came out and actually be able to grow with fans. You know what I mean? I was part of that, what you can call that golden era. Nowadays, it's kind of hard. It's, you know, rappers, it's come a dime a dozen. It's so many of them, and I was blessed to be able to drop when it was true fans out there. You know what I mean? People who really was going to the store, picking up the cassette, reading the credits and all that. So, you know, I think that's what make a difference right now, to where it still sit with a lot of people. A lot of people grew with it. So to be 30-some years later and still be getting booked for that first album, man, it's man, a blessing, man. And yeah, I'm very appreciative to my fans. So, you know, I try to make sure I can touch everybody, take pictures, because I truly appreciate my fans. You know what I mean? They keep me eating, they keep me working. So, yeah, it's a blessing.
Amazing, amazing. Let's make some noise for that, man. Come on, 30 years in the game. People, history of the Bay.
Yeah.
So now let's take them to a place that's very important, man. Hunters Point, California, man. That's a constant. Anyone here? Is Hunters Point in the house tonight, man? That's right. That's right. That's right. When y'all were coming up out there, I'm curious, who was the very first rapper that y'all heard of from Hunters Point?
Salim. Larry June grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I'm not knowing about that.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Salim. Call it HP, but it's really Hunters Point. You know,
He had a hit song.
OG Salim. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Did
he have tapes out, or
he
was
put out an album or a vinyl? He had a little 12-inch single. Yeah. Back then they were just putting out like 1-2 songs, A side, B side, maybe 1 or 2 songs. Yeah.
How influential was that to you to make you think that this is something that you could do as well?
To be honest, when he dropped, I wasn't thinking about rapping. I just knew him as being the first rapper, but it was really what motivated me to rap was like seeing Coog Nut, IMP, you know, being in Log Cabin and playing I'm Rolling and Scandalous, like that and Budweiser, my boy Budweiser, that I could contribute me just wanting to rap to them. And as I got into it, later on got other influences from 415, you know, seeing Too Short, Hustle Out the Trunk, you know, so different rappers influenced me in different ways, you know what I mean? You know, whether it was Hustle, whether it was style, you know, like my style kind of came from T-Lo, earlier T-Lo, D-Loc, Ice Cube. You know, when I was rapping on the first album, I was really trying to sound like D-Loc and T-Lo, you know, and end up finding myself in that process. But yeah.
Let me ask you another question, man. When Brick and Mortar hit me up and said they wanted to do a podcast in San Francisco, of course I thought of y'all San Francisco legend, but I want to show some love to the ladies. Who are some ladies that were representing in hip hop in the early '90s?
I don't know. I know female funk.
Conscious Daughters.
Yeah, Conscious Daughters.
What about from San Francisco
Female
specifically?
funk.
San Francisco, early 90s? I don't know. I wasn't listening to no females from San Francisco early 90s.
Yeah, it really wasn't no hot females coming up on the rap scene, to my knowledge, in the early 90s. We had the female funk, I think they was from Palo Alto.
Palo Alto, yeah.
They had the Conscious Daughters, it was on Paris label, that was big. Obviously Sugar T. But in the San Francisco,
I can't think of nobody.
you know, we had the R&B singer Aisha that used to do the hooks for quite a few different artists. Oh well, So Vicious.
So Vicious. Shout out So Vicious in the building.
So Vicious back
we
then.
talking about our era though. Exactly.
So Vicious was a baby. She wasn't, you know, she was. Yeah. Now if you're talking about now, So Vicious we'll definitely be mentioning.
Okay.
There's a lot of them now, but when we came out, I can't think of none. You know something that we missing?
No, that's why I was asking you. I'm like, man,
Female funk. We mentioned
That's
female.
what I mentioned.
fun,
Yeah, female. We was in there with Pam and them.
Yeah.
Okay, come
There you
on.
go.
TC in the building, man. He just walked through casually like he
Is
just,
this working?
man.
It's a pleasure for y'all to have me here.
TC came in like he was just walking from the store or something like that. Yeah, I guess I'll pull up. Man, TC, let me give TC a proper intro, man. Once again, if you don't know his face, you know his sound, you know his music. He's produced some of your favorite tracks, including tracks by these brothers right here, which is why I wanted to have them in the building. So make some noise for the legendary TC, y'all. And this is actually perfect timing because I wanted to ask too. We talked about the top 5 San Francisco albums. I want to ask y'all how would you define the sound of San Francisco rap music? What are some? We talk about mob music, we talk about hyphy, but what is the Frisco sound? Because it is a specific sound.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I know my sound. It was a little mixture of, like funk and mob. It was a little bit of both. The first album, I was trying to be a little bit more creative, trying to be like NWA and them. I was like Daz on the beats, and TC was my Dr. Dre. And we was just trying to be creative. I don't even think we had a sound. We was just in TC's studio. TC did have a sound because of the sound modules we was using. I think that kind of gave us a sound. Dealing with that Emax and all that we was dealing with. And then later on, all them rolling sounds, the JD 990, JV 880, I think that gave us a sound. Because even Hunters Point sounds a little different than Field Mode. They was over there using a lot of vintage keys and different sounds that we wasn't using, But I don't think Frisco really had a sound. If it was sort of like RBL, 11.5, UD, like everything coming up out of TC Garage at the time, you know what I mean, and Enhancer. But I don't know. What you think, T?
I mean, shit, man.
Because you was behind all the music, you know what I mean?
Let me tell you how the
think
truth,
we
man.
had a sound in the city?
Yeah, we had a sound, brother. We had a sound. We used a lot of that P-Funk clap, whole lot of that. What was that, the R8?
R8M.
The R8M. We had certain things, especially in my garage, though. It was like the Emax, SP1200, and just the little cheap ass equipment I had, basically.
Yeah,
shit.
that kind of gave us all
We just worked
the
off
sound.
of that, man, and it came together, man. Sure. And ta-da.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, that's a trip. I feel like a lot of times when we talk about a regional sound, whether it's LA or New York, a lot of it it's based on the producers. Yeah. And TC, you were producing all the pioneers, essentially, right? IMP, RBL.
Yeah, that's why I said thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here for y'all today. I don't come outside, y'all. I don't do this type of shit a lot. So I'm here for y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate it.
hey, man. If you see me, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? That's just what time it is. But at the same time, though, man, back in the day, man, when we started developing what we was doing, it wasn't no scientific thing. It was just a bunch of guys getting drunk, having fun, trying to get some girls, let's make some music type thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. It wasn't no big, we need to do this and do that. No, wasn't none of that.
We just making music. We wasn't even trying to have a sound.
Nah, we were just having fun.
It was fun. It was uncomplicated. Everything was simplified, and you go to the studio and it's just a good, healthy atmosphere. Yeah. And you comfortable being there. Yeah. So you and TC had that ability to bring out the best in each artist. Yeah. I will never forget TC told me, he said, Herm, I say this all the time today. He said, Herm, you got to rub each rapper differently. Yeah. He said, because each rapper got a different personality. So you can't approach them you got to approach each rapper differently. Some rappers want to do it this way or do it that way. Some artists want to do it a different way. And me, as far as the production, I relied so much on TC. I relied on Chris' advice. And I was a good learner. I listened. And I ain't got a problem with following constructive criticism. So whatever TC and the enhancer recommended, I'm on board with it. If Chris recommended something, I'm on board with it. And they always have my best interests at heart.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We tried to make sure everything we put out, and unlike a lot of cats, they sit in the studio and just work and be making songs, and they don't put them out. You never hear them to be judged. Yeah. We put our shit out.
Yeah, everything.
You got to hear it, the best, the worst. You got to hear it, though.
Exactly.
For real. We put our shit out,
Especially the first
man.
album. There's a lot of
Man,
mistakes on there
a whole
that
lot
people
of,
don't know about.
but.
We're having fun now. There's a lot of mistakes I hear on there to this day.
But still, that's them be the good parts.
Right.
This episode of the History of the Bay podcast is also brought to you by Mojo Labs. You may already be familiar with Mojo Labs because we collaborated on the first official History of the Bay merch drop with these limited edition snapbacks. Besides that, you might have seen me rocking Mojo Labs gear on other podcast episodes or in different pieces of content. People are always asking me, where you get that hat? Where can I get that jacket? Who made that hoodie? Usually I can't even help you out because by the time you see me wearing it, it's already sold out. But I'm going to put you up on game. Go to mojo-labs.com and sign up for the VIP list. That way you'll get advance notice of all Mojo Labs drops, plus discounts and other cool offers. Visit mojo-labs.com or check the description of this episode for the link. Yeah, I was actually going to ask if any of y'all recall, you know, during the making of those albums, what was one of the craziest studio sessions that y'all had?
Everyone I had with Cougnut was the craziest.
Right.
Like, for real. RBL was pretty relaxed. They was calm. Them dudes was cooler in the family, get high, and we just having, like, mellow session.
Yeah.
You know, Herm, man, he OG. He was OG back then, so.
Right.
So Herm was cool.
Right.
Like, but the early stuff, the Budweiser and DeRay's, wild.
Oh, yeah.
Wild. T-Lo, all them sessions was wild, man, back in the day, and totally insane. They was pretty easy to work with. But Black and them, RBL was pretty relaxed until after the album came out.
Right. Well, that Mr. C got
It was
crazy.
a whole lot of Mr. C at my
Mr.
house.
C got crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. C definitely got crazy after that with that newfound fame, boy, for real.
It was cool, man. It was fun, man. It was fun.
You know, one of the memories, studio sessions that I had is when I first started in compilation. I'm first starting compilation, and we at TC Studio, and we listened to beats, right? I'm not finna pick no beat from none of the artists, but we listening to beats, and then JT come in, and he got San Quinn and Demo with him, and we everybody got their tablets and stuff, and when JT come in, he like, man, we want that beat right there, with no hesitation. The beat that's on that compilation, he immediately, man, we want that beat right there. We ready. And they went in there and dropped that song. And the song was so hot. And that right there is what made that first compilation unique. Because once JT immediately dropped his song, Cougnut that came in, he like, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. He was writing at first. But now he know he got to elevate his game. RBL was writing. They said, man, we going to come back to bar. Everybody came back the next day. So the bar had been risen. And everybody came with fire.
We call it
and I'm appreciative of that.
the spirit of competition.
Yeah. Healthy competition.
Healthy competition, man.
Yeah.
We built a lot of that with a lot of the groups.
Yeah.
It was
it was
healthy,
competitive.
I kick niggas out the booth. I don't. You come in there with that garbage?
Yeah.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that today.
Yeah.
A lot of cats got embarrassed, humbled. But I looked at it like this, Dre. It's like this, man. If you can listen to my beats and go, nah, next one. I can listen to your lyrics and go, nah, next one, next one. And if that's
a real producer, ladies and gentlemen.
Real talk.
Yeah.
He's not just a beat maker, he's a producer.
Come on, man. That's what we do, man. We have fun, man.
No, that makes sense, like that healthy spirit of competition, because everybody's coming out at the same time, making their first albums, trying to outdo each other. That actually makes a lot of sense, man. Herm's compilation, I feel like also putting everybody together on one project really helped a lot, showcasing all the different talents. And that's like a really unique thing. I don't know if other cities have a Herm, a dude that's just speaking on, doing the introductions and coming with that positive message. Black, I was curious, do you remember the first time you met Herm and what your first impression of him was?
No, Herm was just being in the hood, man. That's when I met him was when he got out of jail, but I used to see him when he was, going through his trip. And he was tripping. He used to be on drugs and shit, and Herm used to be tripping. Herm used to be through that motherfucker like Debo, looking like Debo walking through, looking all in your car or something, sitting all on your car, in your car. You can't say nothing to that nigga. He big as hell. You know what I mean? I don't want to say shit to that motherfucker. But now when he got out, man, and he was just on this positive hype, man. He was just reading all them black militant books, Huey P. Newton, the Malcolm X, and I, that right there kind of drew me to him, and we got tight. And that's when I wanted him to speak on the album. But I can't remember the first day Herm was just around. When you just from Hunters Point, you just grow seeing motherfuckers. Sure, you just start seeing them. But I can't remember the first day I actually met him. But he just was always in the neighborhood, just around all the time. And I just asked him once he got out, was on his, was on this righteous path. I ended up getting with him, and asked him to put together an intro for me.
Dope.
And it was perfect.
What about you, Herm? Do you remember the first time you met Black?
I don't remember the specifically the first time, but I always admired him and his brothers. They was younger, but they had this togetherness. They had this togetherness and this ruggedness. And their mom was a boss. Mm-hmm. And the togetherness, and the younger brother, which is Toto, he was the one that, he was outgoing. We'd be on the block, and he'd just, man, give me $20 to get, and next thing you know, we got a full-fledged barbecue going. Right. We got RBL performing. Everybody coming up the Harbor Road just to see the activities that we was putting down, and Chris, I used to be sitting on the stairs, reading my book, reading my Bible, studying everything that I did when I was in the penitentiary. I continued to execute that out in the free world. And Chris, Toto, all the homies used to see me. Mm-hmm. And, and I was about my business too. And Chris came to me one day, I'd say, Herm, and we want you to do an intro, just write something down. And I'm like, I ain't never been to the studio. Right. I ain't never been to a studio in my life. So I wrote something down, I put something together because I haven't been studying. I put something together, come to the studio, meet TC. And TC, just like he was just explaining, he put you in there and, he going to coach you through it. And he going to make you comfortable to where he get the best out of you. Mm-hmm. So once I got in there with TC and Chris and Mr. C overseeing it, I dropped it. And it,
dope as hell.
And it was dope.
It was dope.
And the day
that beat, because I always wanted to rap on that beat, but I couldn't. I was like, it's awful. Can't really rap on it.
We talked about that because I don't know what to do with this beat.
That's it, man. Put Herm on there talking, man. Yeah. It came out dope.
Yeah. Crazy how that started a whole new chapter in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing. That's why today I'm so appreciative because, and that's why the relationship is still A1. Mm-hmm. Because I never betrayed the game. I never betrayed the love that he provided me, the love that TC, even Mr. C. I was just telling my lady, we was just talking about Mr. C, because the song was on. And I used to say, man, Mr. C, man, he would call me, like, Herm, come and pick me up. I'd go pick him up, man. We'd ride, go down to Fishman Wharf, get something to eat. And on the way back, Mr. C would just be freestyling. He'll look around this room and just freestyle. I used to get mad. Dude, write that down. Write it down. Yeah. Herm, I don't need to write this shit down. I'm just playing around. He used to be dropping lyrics, but he never would write it down. You know, and Toto too. Toto used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
Definitely was a rapper's rapper.
Yeah.
He stayed freestyling.
yeah.
Yeah, and TC, we talked about it a little bit when you came on the podcast before. Like, when you first met RBL, did you recognize the raw talent, and did you see where these guys could take it?
I mean, just doing music, you knew who was doing what in the neighborhood. Like Sunnydale had the Meller, Hunters Point had Budweiser, but Budweiser would always talk about Chris, Black Chris, Black Chris, Black Chris. Bring him down, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, bring him on through. So after Bud started doing his stuff, he brought Chris and T-Lo and a couple other cats. They came through. We just all networked, man. Just started working, and I already knew Chris had fire. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay. But I would hear some of his loops. I was like, oh, we can make them better.
Right.
And that's what we did. We took him in and put the cut and the slice on it and did what we did, man. And it turned out to be a beautiful album.
Yeah, when you talk about hearing about people like through the neighborhood and everything like that, I feel like that's something that made the '90s Frisco rap real special. Because it was really coming out of the soil and people had like these genuine connections, and like you said, just seeing somebody around and getting to know them and just hearing their music organically. But that brings me to my next question, because I want to take it into the future now that we're talking about 30 years since those times. Does San Francisco have a sound now? Does it have a rap scene that could compare to the scene that y'all came out in? Because there's plenty of people rapping, there's plenty of producers, there's plenty of DJs, but does it feel like there's still like a real solid scene here?
Can I say this? I think the problem is everybody just getting beats from everywhere. They're not being produced. You just picking beats off of YouTube and just doing what? Sit down with a producer, find you a young guy, got that new sound, all that, and do an album with him. Go from there, man. And that's always been the best way to do it. You know what I'm saying? When you picking up beats and just picking, say, you get any sound from anybody, you ain't got, it don't sound like a project. It don't sound like a piece of art, basically.
All over the place.
It's all over the place, and that's what I'm hearing a lot of. They come up with good songs here and there, but okay, you made a good one with that dude, keep that dude. Who did the hook? Keep that dude. Build something off of that. That's where, you know, my thing is with the whole new stuff. It's like, okay, one song you sound like this, and then the next song you sound like that. Now you from Detroit. Now you from Chicago. Now you. That's the problem I'm having with it right now.
I think that's great advice, man, because there's people that can rip a beat off YouTube and end up getting millions of streams off it, which is cool. But a question I come up with on this podcast is like, is it about the streams and the numbers, or is it about making art, making an impact? Because 30 years later, you're not going to be talking about, oh, that song had 10 million streams. You're not going to really think about that. You're going to think about like how Bammer Weed made you feel when it first came out. Or like I'm talking about listening to Ruthless by Law in the Bucket. You're going to talk about that feeling. So I definitely feel like the city is missing that. But what do y'all think is like the future for San Francisco hip hop?
You know, I think, just being creative. And, you know, I never thought about it, but just like I said, I take advice. Just like what TC said, you know, get you a producer. If you got somebody that made that hook, build a relationship with them. Because your fans start to respect the consistency of an album. Okay, he done the hook on the last one, she done the hook on the last one, oh, this is the same producer. And you get that cohesiveness. Yeah. And the next thing, you know, it's like So Vicious, female rappers. They on the upswing. H2, AR, on the upswing. You know, it's individuals like that's been up under the RBL umbrella, that's been observing TC, probably even observing me. You never know who observing you, and these individuals is right there ready to take that next step. And it take the fans, it take a good project, it take a consistent project, and it take prayer. You got to be blessed. Everything got to fall in place. Everything got to fall in place.
I like
That's
that.
true.
I like that.
Definitely got to be consistent. I mean, but Larry Jr. is a perfect example of that. I mean,
Man,
look how
big
consistent he is with his sound.
Yeah.
That's why his fans love him. He might do a Trap Larry song here and there, but he pretty much consistent with what he's speaking on, what he talk about, what he stand on, and that's what I love about him, and people got to take notes, you know what I mean? Once you get a fan base, you got to keep feeding them that. You can't switch up and all of a sudden you want to sound like you from Detroit when they was fucking with you because you was on some mob hype or something. Or you was doing some G-Funk style stuff. Now you trapping on every song, and, so a little bit of consistency.
Yeah. And I just says like, imagine Too Short rapping like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm good.
They
Right.
I'm good. I want to hear some Too
No,
Short
you
shit.
get short.
No matter what he
Short
on, you
is
get
the same
short. Yeah.
way
Right.
every time. Be legit. Same way every time.
Yeah.
You get what you get,
Yeah.
man. It's consistent. You love it, and you're going to buy it every time or support it every time.
Great advice, man. Let's make some noise for these legends, y'all. We're gonna let's open it up, man. Since we have such a beautiful audience, man. If anyone in the crowd got some questions for anyone on the stage, go ahead, shout it out. Don't be shy. It ain't wireless. Go ahead.
Yeah. We did do, like I say, I was new, but we did do a couple of shows, and unfortunately, I couldn't get all the artists, but I did do over at what's that, Rasputin's over in Berkeley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we done the show over at Rasputin's in Berkeley, and we had Forte. I think we had Cool Nut. RBL was in Detroit performing somewhere, and then we had Selsky.
The Cold World coming to that one?
Cold World was there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then even we went to like some high schools like Lowell. We performed at City College.
Performed at Lowell?
Yeah. Well, they wanted me to do the speaking.
Okay.
So when I brought in the speaking, I brought some of the artists.
For those who don't know, Lowell is the smart kid.
Yeah. But we went to Lowell and done something similar to this.
That's dope.
And I spoke and gave the artists some opportunities to do their songs. And where else? We done City College. Remember?
Was that Fat Rat?
Fat Rat. Yeah. So we was doing stuff. So we done City College, San Mateo College, and a few other different locations.
That's what's up. Thank you for that question. Anybody else got something they want to know? Don't be shy. Yes, young lady. Thoughts on Bay Area rap today? Ooh, ouch. Ouch.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I really don't listen to nobody. I'm kind of stuck in a little era where I'm.
Yeah.
The new ain't nothing really catching my ear. I'm into voices, y'all. I'm into character and voices. I came up with Coog Nut, Ad Capone, Black Sea, E-Sick. These kind of do Forte. They got voices. Every time you hear them rap, you know who it is. The problem that I'm having with the new cats, your voice ain't standing out. It's not grabbing me, and that's the problem I'm having. I'm not hearing the character. I'm not hearing them. It's like, all right, who is that? And they be like, oh, that's such and such. Yeah. Then the next song come out, okay, well, who is that? Well, that's the same dude. No, he sound different now. I love Mozzie. I like Mozzie. Who else? He ain't really that new. Look, y'all looking at me like there's some new cats out there, but that's about where I stopped at, Mozzie.
I've been, one thing about me, when I'm invited to do an intro on the album for artists, that right there automatically get me listening to that artist. And yeah, I'm a good listener, and I like voices too. And one of the artists from the Bay Area that I really feel have potential and have ability is Young Lot.
Yeah.
Flood. And his new project, the Flood Project, is real creative. Me and Chris was talking about it at the event. And it got an old school feel to it.
Man, that dude's an artist.
And it's a real good project. Another good project is H2AR newest project. You know, that's a good record. Right. And you know, these are artists that I'm listening to. Stunning Man. Stunning Man is you know, I like what he's doing. You know, I like what he's doing. And So Vicious. I listen to some of the songs that she's on. You know, I didn't listen to some of her solo stuff, but I also listen to the stuff that she's on a Young Lot project as well as H2 project, and she's bringing it. And at some point, we're gonna have to get behind the artist. I don't know what that's gonna take, you know, for the Bay Area to just like, you know what, let's get behind this artist and push him, you know, because when RBL came out back in the days, our album had the longevity of a year. 2 years later, you would hear RBL up and down the streets. Now an album shelf life is so short.
A couple of weeks.
Week or two. 2 weeks. 2 weeks and you're on to something else. But I think that comes with what TC and Chris is saying is that uniformity, the consistency, like Larry June, you know what you're going to hear. You know you're going to get that hee-hee and that good job, Larry. You know, that square stuff. You know, sometimes simplicity, square, and playalistic is powerful. And you know, we got just like Chris said, we gotta take notes. You know, if you see somebody that's capitalizing and being effective, you may have to say, man, let me adapt a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What producer influenced you? 'Cause y'all out here, you sample more chops. It was almost East Coasty where y'all was using blues.
Yeah.
More than, say, like Oakland or, you know, other Bay Area cities.
Whole lot of Dr. Dre. A whole lot of Dre. Just as far as the certain artists that he sampled from, and like a lot of that stuff he do, y'all don't even know them samples. That type of thing. Q-Tip. Tried. Crazy with the samples, bruh. Them probably the most, the two that I kind of like started digging up under, like, but yeah, basically them two, and then just a whole lot of me.
Thank you for the question. Any other questions out there?
I got a question. How does it feel to be relevant in 2024?
How does it feel to be relevant in 2024?
Black.
You answered that earlier. I mean, blessed.
Come on, Black.
Blessed, man. Feel blessed. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just coming from that era, and it's just paying attention to what's going on. You can't be an old rapper coming in, you know, and you outdated. You still got to pay attention. You got to evolve without like biting other rappers and trying to be, you know, be like what's going on right now, trying to rap melodic and doing, you know, all this other shit that the youngsters doing. Like me, I just kind of evolved over time. I feel like I got better with time, and it's just paying attention, you know, to the game, paying attention to producers, and you know, just knowing how to talk your talk. That's all. Talk that shit when you're on the mic and spitting it right, and people gonna adapt. They gonna steady rock with you.
I like that. I'll say it feels great to be relevant in 2024 personally.
Right.
Any other questions?
Black C. Like 30 years later, it seems like you got found the youth going out.
Man, that's just ain't no more cigarettes, man. Working out, no more smoking. You know, but don't tell the fans that you don't smoke. To them, I smoke. No bammer.
He know his
He passing
nephew.
it.
His nephew Larry June and
We
Sam
healthy,
spark
man.
him up, man. He
We
know
healthy.
it. Yeah, his nephew got him. Yeah.
We healthy, man. Yeah.
You know, I think, I think it's a privilege to be recognized from a younger artist that was obviously influenced by what you have done over a consistent period of time.
Yes, sir.
And Larry June, my nephew, is an artist that that was influenced by Black Chris, that was influenced by RBL. And, and me and Chris spoke about, he like dusted him off.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
And sometimes that's all we need is just a little bit of support, whether it's from a younger artist, whether it's from a podcast like this, or whether it's from all you fans, to get behind the project and give us that little boost, and the enthusiasm, the energy is gonna increase. And at some point, we all gotta be like, you know what? I wanna see Herm prosper in the music game to where I can reach out to him at any time and we can do this and we can do this. I want to see Black Chris, reinvent himself and get a major hit record because he deserves it.
Yes, sir.
And to me, the powers that be should see, just like you guys see, the rejuvenation of Black Chris, the challenges, the sacrifices that he had to endure in this game, to where the powers that be need to be like, you know what? We need to get behind him 100%, give him what he needs to propel him.
Right.
Okay, now Larry June dusted him off, and it increased the enthusiasm, but we need more from the fans, whether it's online, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's hard, I don't know. But we all need to support
Facts.
the individuals that's up here.
That's true.
From the History of the Bay to RBL Posse, Right Way, Herm Lewis, Black Power Production, and TC, the DJ.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I like that.
Yes, sir.
We had another question right there.
Shit, Vic. Come on, Vic. We love you too.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to So Vicious.
It's all love.
Shout out to So Vicious, man. Yeah, it don't cost nothing to show support, man, and don't be too cool to give props where props is due, and respect all around, man. Anyone else got a question? Advice for up and coming artists.
I mean, like I always say, just do it out of love. I mean, I came in trying to I just love doing music and just wanted to get it out in Hunters Point. I wasn't thinking of a paycheck. Even when we signed with Jason, we didn't really get no money. I was just wanting him to distribute it. That's all I cared about. You do it out of love, man, and that payday might come one day. But I wouldn't don't quit your day job. Do it out of love, and you never know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And once it do happen, you'll never work a day in your life for real. Because I feel like I'm getting over doing this music because I love doing it. I get paid doing it. I get paid to hang out and party. I mean, it's a blessing. For real. So, I mean, I love doing music, whether I get paid or not. I mean, I'm constantly eat, sleep, drink music every day, all day, because I love it. So if you love doing it, just do it out of love. You never know what can happen, where it's going to take you.
Yeah, I would just add to all the people I deal with doing in my journey is just take it serious. Just take the art serious, and then once you get to that position of making it a business, take the business serious too. A lot of people out here playing with the game, and then they're crying about the results they get, but it's all hard work. And like Chris said, if you love it, the work just comes natural, and you just keep going.
I still wake up at 3 in the morning with a beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I might not ever let y'all hear it.
Right.
Because I don't fuck with it like that no more because I'm on other things. But it's just the love, y'all. You got to love it. If you don't love it, if you're trying to make money, just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go be a plumber. You're better off. For real. And ain't nothing wrong with being a plumber. Right. Go drive Muni. Go do something else if you don't love it. If you're just trying to do it to make some money,
Good luck.
leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. If you don't, man, you got to love your damn art, man. Love your art. I don't care what it is. If you're drawing, you doing art, taking pictures. If you, whatever your art is and whatever your passion is, do it. You do got to pay your bills, though.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So keep the real job and let this be your side hustle until that side hustle start kicking in. Like, for real, man. So no matter what I do in life, it's always been about music. And I got a lot of people in here that can vouch for me on that. I ain't never had a 9 to 5.
Man, bless.
Never. Struggled.
Yeah.
Music. Nickels, dimes, 100 here, 100 there. Yeah, rough. I'm good now, though.
I like TC.
Because I worked hard for it. You know what I'm saying?
came in here feeling himself.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, bro.
I like that.
Shit, I gotta tell the truth. I gotta tell the truth, man.
The confidence, man. That's what it's all about.
Hold on.
That's some good artist advice right there.
Man.
Self-confidence.
Come on, man. A lot of y'all here because of me. Y'all just don't know it. I am the hip hop scene, Frisco. I was that guy. We set it off here. That's what we did. Yeah. See, I don't want to come off like that, does it?
This is the place to do it. This is the place to do it.
You know, it's good seeing TC, you know, expressing himself with that type of confidence because he's real low key, and in reality, he don't get the recognition that he should get.
Right.
So for him to sit up here and emphasize that I am that guy.
I'm the guy.
Yeah, that's big.
TC that guy. That's real.
Yeah, and that's real
shit.
talk, you know. Yeah, that's real talk, you know.
Hey, you got to pat yourself on the back sometime, y'all.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Any other questions, man? I want to make sure everybody got something gets heard. Would you ever do another genre and an artist outside the Bay that you would work with?
Reggae, probably about the only thing I probably would do.
That's easy.
That's it.
That's easy. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I would do. Any other artists? There's a lot of artists.
Just like 3 artists that you would work with that are not from the Bay.
That are not from the Bay. Scarface, Ice Cube. It's gonna be from that era, you know. And Snoop.
There you go. You know that ain't hard to do. He listened to you anyway. That ain't hard.
Yeah. You know, MC8 was one, but I got him out the way on right. But yeah.
Hey, I want to say so. I just saw Black on the picture. They just did a show. I guess y'all was in Southern Cal.
Right. King to the West.
He was in a bunch of pictures with artists like, you know, what was that, Daz and Corrupt,
Warren G and them.
all them cats.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, that's where you supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right.
I put that under there. That's where you supposed to be, bro. Like, no, you're not a guest here. That's you.
That's you. Yeah.
Real
You know,
talk.
and that's, I be having that same feeling, you know, anytime I go to like an old school show, whether it's at Thunder Valley, Crash Creek, or wherever, and I see certain art, I'm like, man, ain't no RBL supposed to be here.
Supposed to.
Rapping Forte supposed to be here. If he was healthy, you know what I'm saying? These individuals supposed to be here because it's too close to the Bay Area for them not to be there. And the recognition, the reputation, the record sales throughout the country indicates where they supposed to be, especially when you mentally and physically able, you know, to show up. And Chris, just as surely as he's here, if he's on the ticket, he's showing up. And he's going to bring the right attitude, the right energy, and a great show.
Yeah, but I understand, you know, you out of sight, you out of mind. You know, I've been working, so it's starting to pay off, you know.
Yes, sir.
You can't complain just because you feel like you're a legend. You're supposed to be there. You got to still be working. So, you know, they starting to recognize the grind. So we popping out now.
I like that.
You know, a lot of events. So, you know, we at that. We at the one at the SAP Center. So shout out Bobby D and them putting us back on. Shout out Pacific Concert Group. So they handle a lot of the big concerts. So yeah, we done been added to a lot of shows right now.
You know them groups, they know who the fuck we are, Chris.
Yeah, for sure.
And when they see that RBL, they be like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? They remember, they know they used to bump our shit. Every time I like talk to one of them dudes or something like that, they certain groups they know. They be like, yeah, man, we used to bump your shit all the time. Okay. Yeah, that's where you supposed to be, my brother.
For sure.
Like I said, I don't want anyone to walk away like they didn't get their chance. Upcoming projects?
Yeah, I mean, I got an album that I'm just about to start on. Gonna have a lot of features on there. Of course, Larry June, trying to get land Payroll, Giovanni, G Perico, Jay Worthy. I say Jay Worthy. I got a few people that I'm working with. It's gonna be pretty much a feature album. This last album, I tried to kind of just keep it in the camp. But this next album, I'm finna try to use my resources and get a bunch of features. It's called Top Hat Music, so get all the top hats, man, and yeah, be looking for that towards the end of this year. We working. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else?
I got a thank you shout out to Black and Herm.
Right.
Voices
all
in
love.
my head.
Voices in my head. Voices in my head. Yeah, that's all good.
Well, I think we're going to close it out there unless someone's dying to ask, what was that snare you used on? What was the high? What BPM was the? But nah, I appreciate everybody on this stage with me right here. I definitely appreciate y'all. Let's make some noise for the audience, man. Because this is beautiful that we had this. We had such a great audience, a great group, and with this History of the Bay thing, I try to go off the vibe, off the experience, and I think everybody can feel it, man. This is a good feeling, it's a good vibe, it's positive. And for me personally, it was important to have all three of y'all on the same stage together, because I don't feel like that's ever been done before. And since we all giving out flowers and everything, man, y'all mean a lot to me. I appreciate that every time I've hit you up, you come through for me, whether it's music, whether it's the podcast, or just being solid brothers, man. I'm going to just keep it funky, man. There's a lot of OGs that are not solid with the younger generation. Right. And y'all keep it solid, and we talking about the founding youth and how y'all still out here moving this, inspiring, and I appreciate y'all, man.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Black Sea, Herm Lewis, TC, History of the Bay, Sky Pack, Mojo Labs. We in the building. We got some product for y'all, man. Pass that down, man. You know, you ain't living here empty-handed. Shout out to Sky Pack. Shout out to Mojo Labs. Abby Imperial, King said on the lens. Brick and Mortar, D.O. in the place to be, man. Let's party. Let's have a drink. Let's kick it for a little while, man. Peace and love. We out of here, y'all.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California, it's a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.